assume they're crazy. So what does it mean, I am the door? What kind of door do you imagine? Why the door? Anybody?
Sort of portal to a relationship with God that
Portal.
otherwise couldn't have been there.
Beam me up, Scotty.
The only
Yes.
way to get from one room to the other would be a doorway. Given no
Okay,
windows.
all right, Western thinking comes up here. Okay, more.
I'm in the west.
More. Yes.
Was that what he was talking about? He's the door when he's talking about the sheep?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so,
Good insight.
um,
What does that mean?
protector?
Okay,
I'm not
I'll
sure.
buy that. There's a little bit more to it.
Where's the 7?
Here you have to know Hebrew culture a little bit in order to understand this deeper.
Good man, good man.
Alex, where's the 7th one?
I skipped it, I guess. When
Heresy.
in Israel, let's say these are sheep gates. There are sheep behind. Yeah, whatever. So,
Some
at
Christians.
nighttime, let's say this is structured.
He gives a lot too.
At nighttime,
Pretty nice.
they wouldn't have actual gate, but the shepherd would sit in the doorway, protecting the sheep from the wolves that are trying to approach the gate, and not allowing the sheep to go out at night, because sheep cannot see at night very well. So he is actually the door, protecting and at the same time preventing evil people entering the church and people to leave the church and go to their own demise or destruction. Yes.
But even when you do get into church, don't they?
Yes, they do, but they're being revealed by the Holy Spirit after time. People who have discernment, they recognize them right away.
That's a good point.
Which means Jesus gives them a discernment, recognizing who is evil and who is not. Because he tells them, the wolves will come in sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
and they will enter your midst and they will teach you all kinds of weird things. Don't listen to them. Okay, I am the good shepherd. The same thing. Sheep are very helpless animals. They would not drink out of the life stream or fast water, fast moving water. So, and in Israel, there's no slow moving water. It's all fast moving water because it's all mountain, rivers, and streams. So, shepherd will have to literally get stones, place them in the water to make some kind of a barrier for the flow of water and make a quiet water. In the Psalms it says, he leads me to the quiet waters. That's what it means. And sheep will drink from that water. If they'll see some bug or something else there, they would never drink. It has to be crystal clear and quiet. So, and good shepherd also has to find food. It's not like in the same psalm it says, and he leads me to green pastures, right? In Israel, there is no green pastures, or there are no green pastures. Each shepherd has to know at what time of the day, on which hill, the grass will spring out, because by the end of the day or in the later afternoon, it will wither. The cooler winds from the Mediterranean Sea, when they blow westward or eastward, they bring moisture, and grass actually grows within a day. There might be some roots on the stones or in the rocks, and the roots spring out. So shepherd needs to know how much grass is available on that hill at that time of the day. Bring his flock, let them eat, and lead them to another place where the grass is just sprouting. And if he doesn't know, they will die of hunger and starvation. It's not like in the Western mind we're imagining ourselves green pastures of Yuba City, rice fields, or whatever. You know, there are no places like that. So shepherd had to know where the food is, lead his flock to that food, and let them eat. That's often the responsibility of the pastor. Not just kind of, oh, you know, I'll stay around over here and you just go help yourselves. You know? So this is, I am the good shepherd. I am the way, the truth, and the life. This is very profound. The way means the way to follow, to imitate. The truth, well, that's ultimate truth. It means that in him there is no lie. And the life. Without him you cannot have life, you cannot sustain life, and you cannot create life. And I am the true vine. What does that mean? And you are what? The branches. Without me, you can't do anything. And I forgot what's the seventh. In your book,
Resurrection and life.
Resurrection and life. Well, that's the least important one, so I guess.
What is it, Charles?
The resurrection and the life.
I am the resurrection and the life. That's like a minor thing. So these are the I am statements, and this is the picture of JC, Jim Caviezel. He was 33 years old.
I'll tell you, I met his brother. His brother tried to buy a car on the internet for me.
Oh, really?
I met him in person.
What's his name?
I couldn't even tell you, and it was over
Is it
years
James
ago.
or John? Jude.
Jude. I'm Jude Caviezel.
Now that would just be uncanny if his brother was named John or
I
James.
think
No.
Robin Williams once was making a joke. How is it to be a brother of Jesus? You know, James is probably in the bar and he said, "Yeah, I'm James, the brother of Jesus." Yeah. He would be completely depressed because no matter what he does, nobody would ever be entertained after being a relative of Jesus. So he was making a joke out of it.
But he's just like, he's tall, long, dark hair. They live in northern Nevada.
Oh, really? Wow. Reno?
No.
Contribution to the Bible. John is the most selective, topical, and theological of the Gospels. Doesn't go into too many detailed descriptions. Covers up many topics. John uses simple linguistic constructions and avoids the complex sentence structure characteristic of the Pauline epistles. See, Paul uses simpler Greek but sophisticated sentence structure. For example, in Ephesians, first 3 chapters is one sentence. Yes. In Romans, the whole chapter is one sentence, which is very difficult for somebody to keep up with. You don't know where the thought ends. It's just sentence, it's not a paragraph. What was that?
I said he'd be kicked out of seminary.
Yeah, most likely.
If you give him a failing grade, sentence, I don't know.
You see, when you write papers in Russian, the most sophisticated the sentence is, the more knowledgeable you seem to be to the teacher. You have to use a lot of dependent clauses and so on and so forth. When I was writing English composition, I was graded down because of that. And I didn't understand for a long time, and then the professor told me, well, you should simplify. Because the simpler the sentences, it's easier to keep up. So I started to write in a simpler manner in English. In Russian, it's the opposite. You have to write longer sentences, then you seem to be sophisticated and more knowledgeable in grammar and style. Yeah, if you read Leo Tolstoy's books, they're kind of in that way. Although he uses a lot of French statements there too without translating them. Assuming that everybody knows French.
We.
This is actual Hebrew scribe. This is conversation about contribution to the Bible. As you see, these are little boxes in which the strips of the scriptures are folded into, and they tie them up to their foreheads or to their hand. And thus they're fulfilling one of the commandments that you should tie up these scriptures to your forehead and to your hand and so on. And they're actually walking like that, which looks very funny. And you see a lot of his scribal instruments on this table, and he's actually copying the scriptures in Hebrew. And does a pretty good job, as far as I can see. I do some calligraphy too, so that's why I appreciate the sentiment there. John contains no parables. He uses allegories instead. Interesting. Parables always confused me at first when I was reading them. Since there's no clear, there is explanation by Jesus to disciples, but coming from a Western thinking world and into Eastern thinking book, it's not easy to understand the life examples. So I always wanted to know more what they meant. The structure of John's narratives and discourses is tighter and more coherent than that of the other Gospels. He basically doesn't spend too much time explaining what happened before and after and during. He just goes straight to the point. Theological truth, spiritual principle, intellectual understanding of that, what is on the opposite side of the scale, and moves on. This is actually a picture of Island of Patmos in today's world. There's a big cruise ship right there. Probably a John 9 trip or something.
Is that worth visiting, or is it like too big of a tourist?
I've never been there, so I would want to go there.
You would?
Is it close to Greece?
I don't know.
Turkey.
Of the 8 miracles in chapters 1 through 12 and 21, only the feeding of the multitudes and the walking on the water are found in the synoptics. One of the unique features of John's Gospel is the highly theological prologue. That's the one that, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Let's read that. I wanted to hear that whole verse. John 1:1.
Which verse?
Well, we can use NIV,
Just John 1:1.
non-inspired version.
Not inspired. I thought it was the really inspired version.
Go ahead.
Not inspired.
NASB says,